Welcome to the Horror Hour, where your darkest fears come to life. Each episode delves into spine-chilling tales, eerie phenomena, and the unsettling unknown. Join me as we explore the stories that make your skin crawl and your imagination race. Turn down the lights and let the horror begin.
Moonlit, Bloodshed. The ancient forests of Aldermore lay draped in a shroud of mist, their dense canopies catching moonlight in an ethereal dance of silver and shadow. For centuries, these woods had concealed secrets and sorrows, their silence disturbed only by the occasional rustle of leaves or distant call of a nocturnal creature. But beneath this tranquil facade, a relentless war brewed, a silent yet fierce battle between two supernatural races: werewolves and vampires. The night in question began like any other autumn evening, with a mist creeping over the forest floor, curling around ancient oaks and winding through the underbrush. Emily and her friends, youthful, carefree, and blissfully ignorant of the danger lurking around them, had ventured into this forsaken realm. The ancient oak they gathered around seemed to beckon with an almost supernatural allure, its gnarled branches a silent witness to countless eons of conflict. As Emily and her friends laughed and played near the tree, the air was suddenly filled with the low, ominous growls of approaching werewolves. From the opposite direction, the whispering rustle of cloaked vampires cut through the mist like a sinister melody. It was a time of uneasy truce, a fragile peace that had been maintained only through the mutual fear and respect between the two factions. But peace, as it often does in such dark corners of the world, was short-lived. A stray arrow, fired in the heat of battle by a vampire hunter, found its mark not on its intended target, but on Emily. Her scream, piercing and filled with terror, was the catalyst that shattered the delicate equilibrium between the warring races. The death of Emily reverberated through the woods and beyond, reaching the ears of both Alpha Fenrir of the werewolves and Lord Draven of the vampires. The werewolves, led by Fenrir, were consumed with fury and grief. They blamed the vampires for the tragedy, accusing them of treachery and recklessness. Their howls echoed through the forest, an ominous prelude to the vengeance they would soon exact. Lord Draven, a figure of ancient power and cold detachment, was equally enraged. He denied any involvement and, in a chilling display of command, turned the blame back on the werewolves. His voice was a serpent's hiss as he vowed to hunt down those responsible for the attack on his kin, unaware that the conflict was spiraling out of control. The human village at the edge of the forest, once untouched by the supernatural struggle, was thrust into the fray. Emily's death galvanized the villagers, their fear and sorrow transforming into a desperate quest for vengeance. The town square, usually a place of commerce and community, became a battleground. Makeshift barricades and torches turned it into a fortress of fury and grief. The villagers, once neutral, were now divided. Some saw the werewolves as protectors of the forest, the natural guardians who had been wronged. They aligned themselves with Fenrir, who promised to defend the land and seek justice for Emily's death. Others, captivated by the vampire's promises of eternal life and power, chose to side with Lord Draven, believing that a new order could emerge from the chaos. The ancient feud, now fueled by human involvement, escalated into a full-blown war. Forests once filled with the sounds of nocturnal creatures now echoed with the clash of fang and claw. The moon, a silent witness to the bloodshed, shone down on a world that had been forever changed. Amidst the bloodshed, whispers of an ancient prophecy began to surface. It spoke of a hybrid, born of both werewolf and vampire blood, who would end the war and restore balance. Some saw this prophecy as a beacon of hope, a chance to break free from the cycle of violence. Others, gripped by fear, saw it as a harbinger of doom, a sign that the very fabric of their existence was under threat. Emily's memory loomed large over the conflict, a symbol of the innocence lost in the wake of unchecked hatred. The prophecy, intertwined with her tragic death, became a focal point for both sides. The search for the hybrid became as critical as the battle itself, with both werewolves and vampires seeking to control or destroy whatever might emerge from the ashes of their strife. As the war reached its zenith, a new force emerged from the shadows. The hybrid, a young woman named Arya, born of the union between werewolf and vampire, was both a symbol of hope and a harbinger of uncertainty. Her existence was a living testament to the prophecy, and her arrival forced both factions to confront the consequences of their actions. Arya, caught between her dual heritage, struggled to navigate the treacherous waters of her existence. Her presence challenged the established norms and beliefs of both sides, and her choices would determine the fate of Aldermore. As she grappled with her identity, she became a beacon of hope for some and a threat to others. The final battle unfolded beneath a moonlit sky, the forest floor soaked with the blood of countless combatants. The conflict had reached its climax, and the lines between friend and foe had blurred beyond recognition. Arya, now a powerful force in her own right, stood at the center of the turmoil, her presence a catalyst for the impending resolution. In a dramatic confrontation, the true nature of the prophecy was revealed. It was not a matter of choosing sides but of understanding and reconciling the dualities within oneself. The battle was not won through violence but through the choices made by those who had long stood on the sidelines. In the aftermath of the conflict, the forest of Aldermore began to heal. The moonlight that had once witnessed the bloodshed now bathed the land in a soft, healing glow. Arya, having forged a new path, sought to bridge the gap between the warring factions. Her efforts were not without resistance, but the seeds of a fragile peace were planted. The village, too, began to recover from the trauma. The once battle-scarred town square slowly returned to its role as a place of community and renewal. The villagers, having faced their fears and fought their battles, found a new understanding of the world they lived in. As the moon continued its silent vigil over Aldermore, the howls of wolves and the whispers of vampires grew less frequent. The echoes of their conflict remained a haunting reminder of the darkness that dwells within us all, but the promise of a new dawn offered a glimmer of hope. In the end, it was not the fangs or claws that determined the fate of Aldermore, but the choices made by those who dared to stand in the light of truth and reconciliation.